Hey YouTube, what's up? Today I'm going to show you how to take the seat out of a 2005 Jaguar. I'm going to change the power seat motor. What I'm doing here though is I'm going to switch this one. It actually goes to the passenger side. I'm going to see if it'll fit on this side. If it don't, I'm going to have to wait and get another one. This is all the guy had left. I already bought one from him and it didn't work. These are the tools you're going to need. You're going to need a ratchet, 10 millimeter, 5 millimeter, hex, a punch, a drive. We got 9/32, a small screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, a T20 Torx, a hammer, maybe a flashlight, and you're going to need your motor. This is the one I'm changing. I already changed this one last week. It's good, but let me show you what these motors do. This motor, that motor I just showed you, tilts the seat. That's the seat tilt motor. Back and forth is that motor that's up in the front. Hard to see, it's pretty dark in here right now, but it's that square motor up in front with the two long cables that go on it. The motor that's bad, see? No lift, no down, no up and down. No up and down. That's the motor I'm going to be changing. So what I do, I move the seat forward, move it all the way up. I'm going to take my little skinny screwdriver, and I just get it down in there. Wow, it's hard to do all by myself, holding all the pull out and up on this. I'm going to put the camera down for a minute, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the screwdriver down in here, pry it, and pull out and up right here. There, and it's off. That easy. Put the screwdriver at the bottom, pry it up, pull out and pull up. Now normally I would take that nut, there's a nut down here, I would take it off from the back and just take the seat belt out of there. But you're going to have to see what part of your seat is stuck, because my seat won't go up and down, so I can't have access to that Torx 20 bolt that's right there that holds the seat belt on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the seat belt on, and I'm going to take the whole seat out with the seat belt on it. And then if I have to, I'll take the cover off. I'll probably have to take the cover off because I'm doing the motor on this side. That other motor, that short motor, is on the other side of the seat, on the bottom. So let me go into the back. Need a Phillips screwdriver. What we got to do first, right here, take this screw out. That'll give you access to the two bolts that hold the back of the frame in. Seat frame. Same here. Like I said, it's hard to do myself, holding this camera and doing this alone. Take that one off. Pull it up out of there. Now we got access to all four of the bolts. They're on the back side. I'm just going to pause it for a minute, take these 4 bolts out, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I got the 4 bolts out now. I just want to show you that other bolt that you can take out if your seat isn't stuck in a certain position. You can take that bolt out right there. It's a T20 Torx head bit, I believe. But see the seat? The track from the seat won't let me get to it. So I'm going to leave the seatbelt hooked up. So let's go to the front. I'm going to move the seat back down. Move my seat back, and then you can see it's got 2 bolts in the front. One there, one there. And you see that wire harness right there? I'm going to be unbolting that too. Once I unbolt that and unbolt the rest of that, I can pull this seat right out of here, complete. I shouldn't even have to take this side panel off right now until I get it out of there. And if I was doing the motor on the other side, I probably wouldn't even have to take this off of here. I can leave it on there. So let me take these 2 bolts out of the front, 10 millimeter. 2 bolts that hold down the front. It's really going to depend what position your seat is stuck in. If your motor don't work back and forth and say it's stuck forward, you're probably going to have to go back and forth with a wrench on these bolts and get them out little at a time. Well, fortunately my back and forth, it works. It's just the up and down don't work right now. Sorry for all the shaking and everything. This is hard to do when you try to do it alone. Second one. Voila. I don't know how some people say they change this motor by just taking the seat off and doing it. I think that's a lot harder than doing this. Okay, the seat's about ready to be pulled out. If I undo the motor, right there, the end of the plug. I'm going to undo the plug. Let me get my flashlight and I'll show you again. Right there. See that bolt on that plug right there? I'm going to undo that, and then the whole seat will come right out of the car. So 4 bolts in the back, the 2 screws that hold the cover on, and 2 bolts in the front, and the little panel on the side. That way, when I pull it out, my seat belt can slide along with it. So let me try and get my son out here. He can hold the camera and I'll yank the seat out and show you how to pull the motor out from the bottom. Okay, I'm going to pull the seat out right now. Whoops, sorry, I forgot to unhook the electrical connection. Give me 1 minute. That electrical plug I showed you. A lot of people think you got to unhook the battery before you do this. I don't see the problem with leaving the battery hooked up as long as you don't have airbags in your seat. If you got airbags in your seat, I would recommend unhooking the battery before you did this. There, plugs off. Now I'm going to leave the seat belt in and take this seat out of the car. There it is, what I do, since I'm leaving the seatbelt on. Back and get everything. I pull the seatbelt all the way out. and then I put it here and close it. Then I got that much room to work with when I'm doing the motor. Okay, there's the motors. Here's the one I need to change now. That's the up and down motor. This is the tilt of the seat. And this is the back and forth of the car. So make sure you know which one you need. I already changed this one and this one, but this one's bad. So I bought one that's actually for the passenger side. And I'm going to see if it's reversible, if it'll fit. Because to me it looks about the same. I mean, if I got any issues, the guy said he'll take it back, and he's worked with me pretty good on this deal. So just get your plug right here, squeeze it, right here, squeeze it, unplug it, and then it's got this little clip behind it. Pull out on that. If you like, when this is down here, pull out on it and pull up, and it unhooks. I gotta cut this. Give me 1 second. I need my side cutters. Just watch you don't cut your wires. Okay. That's it. And then we got right here 5mm Allen wrench, hex head, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes they're really tight. That one ain't too bad. I already just changed it last week. Not a lot to it. And I don't mind leaving the seat belt on. That seat belt has an airbag on that B-pillar right there, and I just didn't want to fool with it, so I just leave it on and go through there. One screw. Okay, the only other thing that holds it in, can you get down here with it, the camera? Right here, there's that pin, that dowel pin, right there. And the reason I need to take the cover off now is because I need to hammer that pin out that way. There's no way I'm going to hammer it out that way. There's just no room. So I'll take the cover off, and the cover is easy to take off once you've got the seat upside down like this. And my Phillips back here. Okay, right here on the front, the cover, you got 2 Phillips screws. Down in the front of the cover, 1, 2, buttons are behind it. I need the button off. Where's my little screwdriver? Back and forth. Okay. Got that? Pop the button off. Pop the button off. Simple. And here, bring the camera here. If you can see down in here, this seat, what it does is this will like clamp in here, and then it slides out of this little bracket right here. And I don't believe, yeah, there is one right here. A Torx up top on the cover. That's not a 20. Oh, that's a Phillips. I thought that was a Torx. Okay, it's a Phillips screw. See all the covers? Now it should pop out of there, right here, by the seat belt. There, pops down. That's it. See, I don't need to take this off. I really didn't need to take the buttons off. I was going to take the switch off, but I got plenty of room. It ain't in my way. So what I need to do now is just get the motor out. I got myself a punch. Mine's pointed. I needed it for something else one time, but it fits perfect in that dowel pin. Let's see. Right in there. I'll knock that old one out and that one too. Then the motor will be out. If you got a flat one, that's good. That's it. The motor's out. Now it came with the dowel pin already in it, so I'll just knock it out. Whoop. And see if this side fits, because this motor is actually for a passenger side seat. And nope, it ain't gonna fit. It'll go that far, nope, it won't fit. It's the design of the motor, how this has to be down at the bottom of the floor of the car. I had to take this out anyway, so I figured I'd show you while I was at it. But no, the passenger side won't fit. So I'll send it back to the guy. He's working with me. He's used auto parts. You can find him on eBay. He sells all Jaguar stuff. But that's how you get it out. Same way, you put it back in. You can take and put your dowel pin in first. Back in. I'm not going to put it back in right now because I need it out. Put your dowel pin in, tap it in until you get it all the way through. And then when you got your screw head up here, you may have to move the track a little on your own to get the screw started. And then once you get the screw started, you got it. Put your plug back in, put it back in, put your 4 bolts in, and put your electrical connector back in, which is way up here. That one nut at the front. Maybe when I get the other new one, I'll show you again how to do it, make a video again, I don't know. This is probably going to help somebody somewhat though, because I never see anybody has anything on YouTube about changing the motors in these seats. Now that's the up and down, that's the tilt, this is the back and forth. I put that one in last week, same deal. On this one though, there's two of those screws down in there, one there, that you're going to have to get out, which is the same as the one that goes on there. I'll leave that in there. And then the same thing, it's got a dowel pin, knock it out from this side, the dowel pin for that motor, knock it through, put your other one back in, and when you get your new one, here, when you get your new motor, chances are it's not going to be in the same position yours was in, so put your dowel pin in, lift it a little, adjust it, and then when your screws will go in and start threading in, then you got it. You can't get it wrong because the screws are only going to go in when this is in a certain position. So don't put the screws in first, put the dowel pin in first, and then you can adjust this so you'll be able to get your screws in. Okay, that's all I got for now. I'm going to put it back in. It don't take but 10 minutes, so I'm going to put it back together. Oh yeah, I wanted to also say have a rag around, so when you're playing with the grease underneath your seat, you don't want that on your leather seat when you go working with your leather seat. So I'll get me a new motor or gear. What I was going to do is maybe have, if somebody wants to donate, I'll buy a gear. Because the problem with these motors is this gear inside here. A little plastic gear goes inside there, and the gear breaks like 2 or 3 teeth, and then it won't spin the shaft. And once that happens, you got nothing. And you can't buy the gear except for maybe 2 guys on eBay. They sell the gear. If somebody wants to donate, buy me a gear. It's like 55 bucks with shipping. I'll put my PayPal address on there. I got the other one shaft already apart. I took the gear off by hacksawing it, and then I had to tap it off of there. But I'll do a YouTube video of replacing that gear. I think a lot of people are nervous because the guy says you got to file down the shaft. Give me 1 second, I'll show you what I mean. Here's the shaft. When this is open, it sits in there. There's a metal gear here. This holds a plastic nylon gear. I took it off already, but this is what you got to do. You got to take that gear off of there, and then I got a grinder. So what I'll do is I'll take and file all this off, because that gear is pressed on here. So I'll file these teeth off until it's the diameter of this shaft, and then you put the gear in, and then there's a little hole in the gear that's going to have a dowel pin in it. You know, not this big obviously, but a dowel pin in it that holds it in place. So once you put the gear in place, you take and mark it, pull it back off, drill the hole in the shaft, put that gear back on, put your motor back together, and then you're going to have a gear that's never going to break on you. That nylon crap that they put in here, it breaks all the time. This is a big problem with these power seat motors. So it's in this one and it's in that one. Same kind of gear. So if you wanted to change both of your gears, you can take the head off, you know, obviously 3 bolts here, no big deal. A spacer here and there, and get that gear off, grind it down or file it if you don't have a grinder. Drill a hole in it and put your gear on, put it back together, and you'll never have to worry about that gear breaking again and that seat, you know, being taken off again, and change that motor, because that gear is probably going to last longer than the car. Okay, thanks for watching. If I come up with any other new news on it, or if I make another one, then I'll give you a holler out, and I hope the video helped out. It's just I can never find any on YouTube, so I figured what the heck, I'll make one and show people how to get this thing out of here. It's really not hard. 2, 4, 6 bolts hold the whole thing in basically. Undo the wire, take the seat right out. If you want to do like I do, you can leave the seat belt hooked right up. Chances are you're not going to get it out anyway. Here, let me show you what I was talking about before. Put the camera right here. Right here. If I'm not mistaken, this is a T20. A Torx 20, and it's a socket actually. And you can't get the socket in here or the ratchet to get that off, to get the seat belt out of the slot. So I just leave the seat belt on, the cover on, and I do it like that. Now I'll put this cover back on, and then I'll just put the whole seat back in together. Trying to get this off with it in the car, it's a real pain. Okay, like I said, if somebody wants to like donate a gear to me, I'll make a YouTube video and show them how to take this down, put the gear on, punch, you know, drill the hole and put the gear back on and throw it back together. I'll send you my PayPal account, or I mean my email address, and anybody that might want to donate, even a few bucks here and there, you know, get me the gear, and then I'll make the YouTube video. That way, if you guys want to do it, change the gear once, it'll cost you about 55 bucks to change the gear. I know the dealer wants almost 200 just for one of these motors, and I think somewhere 300 or something to do the job. So you got 500 for one one stupid motor at the Jaguar dealer. It's not a big deal, you know, if you ask me. It's kind of simple. If you got an hour or something to kill, not even if you're just changing the motor. If you got to do this, you're going to need an hour or two, you know, to do the whole job probably, but still, by the time you take the car to the dealer, wait for it, pick it up again, you could have already been done and never left your house. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video today.